too many of them!
No, there's not.
Do not...
Hello, ladies and gents. Welcome on back to Between the Stars, Chapter 6, Solar Siege. In this episode, we're going to be doing Clandestine Encounters, getting some wicked combat in. And if the reading is too much for you, there will be chapters down in the description, so you can jump ahead straight to the combat. If that sounds good, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Let's get some. So we are returning Sheep back to his people, and at the end of the last episode, his people tried to kill us. So this will probably get violent and interesting. Following the coordinates Sheep has given you, you fly over Blaymore and land on the outskirts of the city near the coast. Before the First Solar War, Blaymore was a city renowned for its advanced technology and industrial fabric. Now, hundreds of years later, only the skeletons of skyscrapers remain, resting on the remnants of what was once a great city. My men will be in the port area less than half an hour from here. The Red Tier has been using the Blaymore shipyard as one of the headquarters for years. Trust me, it's a safe place. Not even the crime families of the Living Bay know about this place. You look at Falconen, expecting some kind of response. He's unperturbed. At first glance, showing up at the Red Tier's lair does not seem like a very good idea. Sheep going with you does not ensure your safety, as you have already mentioned. If Sheep's men are vying for command, seeing him appear alongside the Republic and the renegade army could be counterproductive. You continue walking towards the shipyard. Along the way, you see ruins of abandoned faculties, now covered by vegetation that makes its way through the concrete and metal. Although seeing Sheep escorted by the Republic is not going to make a good impression, leaving him alone is too dangerous. We have arrived. Oh boy. Screw it. In the distance, you make out two individual buildings in better condition and several men outside carrying crates back and forth. Several of them notice you and, preparing for a firefight, grab their weapons and take up cover positions until one of them recognizes Sheep. It's Sheep! You thought you were a prisoner! Long story, Kane. Where's Fist? He's inside with the others. He's taking care of everything during your absence. I know. Take us to him. Men looked at each other confused, not knowing what to do. I'm not going to say it again, Kane. Kane and the others lead you inside under the watchful eyes of hundreds of men there. Despite the hostile atmosphere, Sheep calmly follows Kane to a burly man who appears to be dead. But if it isn't Sheep in the flesh, it seems that not even death itself can keep you. Sheep heads straight for him, but two men cut him off. Little by little, the rest begin to crowd around you, watching the scene with curiosity. I hear you've been keeping things afloat. Yes, I'm very surprised. I thought your brother would be the one to take reins if something ever happened to me. Marcus is too soft for this, and you know it. The Red Tier needed a capable leader, and I've been more than up to the task. Whereas you seem to have lost your edge somewhat. Captured by the Children of the Sun, escorted by the Republic. Since when do you have the right to question my actions, son? No one is above the organization, not even you, Sheep. I think he's the one that started it. Sheep is. Anyways, we've had enough of your personal crusade, this damn war, and losing men and money. The Red Tier has never relied on alliances or treaties. We destroy our enemies and take whatever we want. You, on the other hand, have preferred to put your own interests before those of the organization itself. You hear the murmur of the crowd who stare at you impassively. Ew. So you've sent your men to kill me for the sake of the Red Tier. You know that many of the soldiers would blindly follow you to their deaths and Sol Invictus if so ordered. I didn't want to do it, but we can't afford infighting. You founded this. And I'll happily follow you again as long as you show us whose side you're on. You have to choose here and now, either them or us. What's your plan, Fist? Do you intend for us to amass a fortune by stealing and murdering while the galaxy is doomed to discretion at the hands of the Children of the Sun? Sounds pretty good to me. Some of the men behind him laugh and chant. You know, you're right. I always said emotions ruin business, but this time, I was the one who got carried away. What do we owe him? enslaved for centuries by the children of the sun, confined to the fold in subhuman conditions with the blessing of the interstellar republic. Look at us. We have come out of hell itself and have become their worst nightmares. The crowd chants in encouragement at the speech. You are my family. Aquilinians. Wow, that's a hard one to say. Who have torn off your chains by force. One life of yours is worth more than 1,000 lives of any of them. Take a step forward, trying to reach him, but several of the men point their guns at you. I'll be honest with you, Captain. I don't give a shit what happens to the Republic. Did the Republic do anything when the children of the sun burned down Uni? Did they do anything during the centuries that the Aquilinians were enslaved? No, they did not lift a finger. We are not their allies, Captain. We are their tool. Sheep's men shout euphorically as Sheep approaches Fist to take his hand. See, it should have a thing here and just not say anything, because I wouldn't say anything. When he's doing all of this stuff, let it play out before you say anything. But I guess we'll go with that. First, I must thank you. You've taken care of all of this in my absence. Opened my eyes. Had I been in your shoes, I would have done the same. I'm glad you've come to your senses. You're the one who's made us what we are today, and we'll always be grateful to you for that. Everything I've done has been to protect your legacy. I know. Suddenly, Sheep hits Fist with such a strong right hook that he knocks him out at once. Before the astonished gaze of the rest of the men, Sheep grabs him by the lapel of his jacket and continues to punch him. You take a step towards him, but Falcon stops you, shaking his head. In the factory, nothing can be heard but the sound of Sheep's fist smashing in the man's face, who has long since stopped breathing. Finally, Sheep spits on the ground and raises his blood-covered fist toward the others. It seems some of you are a bit confused. Who fed you when you were starving? Who protected you when the deadly cold of the fold gave you a place to warm yourselves? Each and every one of you owes me your lives. Men murmur. You are my warriors, Equine brothers, who have suffered the unspeakable because of a world that has rejected them. We have led together and laid waste to any who would dare defy us. Everything we've been through has been because of the children of the sun and them alone. They stole our land and slaughtered our people. They continue to sell us to the lords of the empire as if we were cattle. Sheep raises his fist even higher. Through the cheering shouts of his men, you say this is not your fight? That you'd rather ignore the cries of your brothers to enjoy the freedom I gave you? Then you are the enemy of the Red Tier. There's no fortune or bias on the path I'll lead you down. Only blood and vengeance. We are the last warriors of Uni, and they not done with us yet. The crowd explodes in cheers. Let us break the chains of slavery and take back our land. Not one more Equilin shall be born under the yoke of the sun. I'd ally with the devil himself if that meant I could drag the children of the sun to hell. Go to war by my side, brothers. Make the children of the sun weep tears of blood. The response is immediate. Sheep's men raise their fists, cheering his name over and over again. Sheep, sheep, sheep. You hear it booming throughout the faculty. The Red Tier is back on your side, and aside from Fist, there have been no other casualties. All things considered, the operation has been a resounding success. Sheep gestures for his men to put down their guns, and he rejoins you. It'll take some time to assemble the fleet and regain command of the clans, but we'll be ready just in time for the attack on Solar System. I'll honor my agreement with the Republic just as you'll honor yours. As soon as Nardos has fallen, Uni will be returned to the Equinian people. The Republic will keep the terms you signed with Mason. Intact, Sheep. Got my word. Sheep nods in agreement, and you set off on your return journey. Although Sheep has regained control of the Red Tier, there are still the rest of the criminal clans, the new Titan, to be reckoned with. In any case, it is now up to him. The children of the sun are preparing for an assault on Don Marid, and you still have a long journey ahead of you. You must gather your men and prepare for defense before it's too late.
God, did you see how Sheep took out that guy in front of his men? That was insane. I can't believe we're still in one piece.
The chances of accomplishing the mission without casualties were slim. The algorithms estimated at least a couple of casualties among the crew.
We're glad you're okay too, May.
Thank you, Captain. Shall we set a course for Dunmarad, or would you prefer to continue talking about our feelings?
You disembark, and Falcon signals for you to follow him with a slight nod and his characteristic silence. With him, you walk through the pavilions, watching both the men of the Renegade Army and the Republic soldiers prepare for the attack. The delivery of sheep in Samaria has delayed you too long, so you will have to go back to work as soon as possible. Finally, you reach the Situation Room where several men are waiting for you. As soon as you enter, you notice several familiar people, including Jody Blaze. The woman watches you closely from a corner, scowling. It seems that in spite of everything, she still holds a grudge against you for everything that has happened. You move forward slowly under the gaze of the others and take a seat. Lack of protocol surprises you. This seems more like an informal meeting than a meeting on military strategy. With the exception of half a dozen soldiers seated next to you, the rest are scattered around the room, each doing their own thing. You look around and recognize some of the soldiers standing there. Sitting at the table, you also see Markel, who stays silent, watching you carefully. Okay, looks like we're all here at last. Since you have returned alive, I must assume that sheep's delivery was successful. Will the red tear be on our side, Captain? Don't worry. Blaze, everything is running smoothly. Completely ignore him. They all fix their eyes on you, waiting for your response. Despite the setbacks, Sheep's reunited with his men and regained command. He assured us that he'd go ahead with the assault on the solar system. But first, he has to retake control of the other crime families. You know him best. You think we can take him for his word? Sheep will do anything to overthrow Nartos. If he succeeds in rallying the new Titan clans, he'll fight on our side in the solar system. Sure of it. What do we know of the Children of the Sun? We have detected enemy ships heading towards our sectors. We still have some time, but the attack is imminent. Nardos will apparently be called in several of his most trusted commanders to lead the assault, so expect a tough battle. Yeah, battle finally. Approximately 1,000. Oh, shit. But we don't know exactly. Although much of Nardos' fleet is guarding the solar system, it's still far more ships than we expected. Even accounting for Republic reinforcements, we're still completely outnumbered. You saw, although the Alliance cannot afford the defeat of the Renegade Army, the defense of Don Morand will greatly delay the attack on the solar system, buying the Children of the Sun time to build Hydra. It seems that whatever happens in this battle, Nardos will come out on top. Our squadrons are ready to receive instructions. We'll distribute our defenses throughout the sector to hinder enemy advance and divide the conflict into several fronts. Not in agreement with the numerical inferiority against you, it will be best to drive your forces to avoid a sweeping frontal assault. Yeah, you want to break up fights if you can. In addition, we're counting on the Genesis to bolster our defense. At the start, we'll need it commanding the front closest to the planet until we can push them back. Once the Children of the Sun disbanded, we'll direct the key areas to support the rest of the squadrons. Got it. After the initial explanation, you delve into military strategy for several hours. These people know the enemy's line of action, protocols, units, formations. It's just a few hours they have been able to outline the enemy's plan as surely as if Nardos himself is speaking, and to drop a containment plan. Without a doubt, you need the Renegade Army on your side to defeat the Children of the Sun. You finish the meeting and head back to your ships. Alarms sound indicating an imminent attack by the Children of the Sun. You and the crew rush to the spaceport where several of the captains assigned to your squadron are waiting for you, ready to take off. They are joined by Jody Blaze, who will cooperate with you in leading the defenses. You both exchange silent glances and board your ships. This is the captain. We are preparing for takeoff. What's the situation out there? Our scouts have reported enemy presence approaching the sector. Our captains are in position awaiting further orders. Children of the Sun should appear soon. For a moment, you look at the bridge. You could never have imagined yourself at the helm of the Republic's flagship. Until recently, your biggest problems were nothing more than pirates and smugglers trespassing on your territory or the occasional small-scale diplomatic conflict. Now, years later, you command an entire fleet, the largest army known to man. It is clear that the situation has overwhelmed you for a long time, but there is no turning back. The question left is whether you'll be up to the task. Right, Captain? Your men watch you, waiting for the order to take off. Although you do not want to admit it to them, you are exhausted. Your duty is to stand firm and show no doubts to your crew, but the weight of responsibility has that has befallen you is so great that you can hardly sleep anymore. Once again, you think of Scott. She never felt like that. Always seemed tough and unflappable, even during the worst of times.
All set, Captain. Our ships are already in position.
What's the enemy's situation?
Our scouts have already engaged in combat. The attack is imminent.
Have you alerted the other units?
Affirmative. They are ready and waiting for orders. We'll try to slow down the Children of the Sun, but you'll bear the brunt of it.
Right, here we go.
I detect enemy presence in the vicinity, Captain.
The Children of the Sun have arrived. Gas, deploy the rest of the squadrons. We'll stop as many ships as we can. Good luck.
They're coming!
Oh, some of them just blew right up. Interesting.
Everyone in position. Do not let the enemy advance.
Damn! There are too many of them!
No, there's not.
Do not allow them to cross our lines!
Have my nuke.
We're
Let's see
outnumbered!
if that works.
Hold formation and destroy as
Come on,
many
come
as
on.
you can!
Get it! Nice. Okay, now I'll actually start killing everything.
What's the situation on the ground?
Our men have initiated anti-aircraft measures. So far, they're managing to keep the Children of the Sun at bay.
Keep it up. We'll try to contain as many as we can.
Ooh, more coming in, huh? Okay. Yeah, none of these guys should be able to handle my ship.
Damn it, they keep coming! We need more ships!
The rest of the squadrons are in combat. You'll have to make do with what you've got, Fogman.
Oh, it blew up too soon. It is nice. It does appear I do have some cover here.
Keep up the pressure. We're almost done. Don't get cocky. A squadron is heading straight for your position.
They're here! Spread out and break their formation!
Oh, it doesn't look like it hit, man.
They're breaking through our defenses! Focus your fire on the ships nearest to the planet!
What are you doing? You're supposed to stop them!
We're doing our best, but we're outnumbered. You'll just have to hang in there a little longer.
Ooh, that one's a tough nut to crack.
The enemy has breached our ground defenses! At this rate, headquarters will fall!
We'll assist you as soon as we're done. Hold your position and keep stalling as many ships as you can.
Hurry up! We can't take it much longer!
Oh, I wonder if that's the command. That's why I'm having such a hard time with it. See what I'm saying?
About time.
That one's not dying.
Roger that! Go back to formation! We'll stick to defense until the rest of the ships arrive!
Yeah, that one's refusing to die, so we'll come back to it.
Reinforcements have arrived! Destroy the remaining ships!
Time for revenge! Don't let them run away!
Well, we won't. We'll light them all up. There he is. Yep, now we can get him.
Enemies down. What is the situation on the other fronts?
Victory is ours, Captain. The Children of the Sun are retreating. There are still some pockets of fighting, but we have already sent reinforcements. As for your squadron, I need you to return to headquarters. The Children of the Sun are still trying to storm it.
Roger that.
Okay.
You heard. We're returning to land.
Alrighty, folks. Well, we'll leave the episode right there. When we come back, I guess we'll start with Reign of Fire. And hopefully you guys have been enjoying the series. Let me know what you think down in the comments. And if it have been enjoying it, hit that like button. Subscribe to the old channel. It does help out. So keep your heads down, your ships of doom up. And I and my crew will see you again real damn soon.